Welcome to WaTalking.
You're so official. Hi, I'm Liesel.
I'm so official.
Yeah, that was like so official.
Should I be like, welcome to WaTalking?
Or like,
Is that less official?
hey, welcome, hey,
How's it going?
hey, how's it going? Welcome to WaTalking.
So now that we sorted that out, we're in Playa del Carmen. We are sunny, beautiful Playa del Carmen.
We're so good at this talking thing.
And we're, Liesel, she was a director by nature, so it's just in her nature to, as we start, to just start going into...
But I like it. I like just the flow of like doing what we're doing. It's good.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
We're winging it.
We're just winging it.
And that's actually going to be a big theme of what we're doing, is we're unique, we're different, we do things differently.
Yes, that is going to be a theme of what we talk about today, for sure. Also, I would like to say, if you are here spending time with us, choosing to spend time with us, MiddleAgeAdventureWalks in Playa del Carmen or wherever we happen to be, thank you. Very grateful. There's so many things that we can spend our time on these days. So the fact that you are here spending time with us, we highly appreciate it. Thank you.
We're starting at Playa Coco, and we think it might be called Playa Cisne as well. We should probably do more research. We're middle-aged, and that's part of what we do here. Like we know some things, we give you some tips, we do stuff, but we don't know everything.
No, we don't.
And we don't want to know everything. There's too much to know in the world. It's impossible.
Yeah, I don't even know much of anything, really.
And we're going to walk to Playa 72, past Playa 88. We're probably going to make it to Punta Esmeralda.
That's the goal.
You can walk here along 5th Avenue, which is the pedestrian thing in Playa del Carmen. You can walk from downtown Centro, I don't know, maybe 15, 20 minutes probably to here.
Yeah.
And then we really like this area. This is actually where we chose to spend more of our time this time after spending time both times in downtown. And we had a great time. We saw Carlos Rivera.
Carlos!
So there are advantages for
Carlos
free
Rivera.
at Carnival.
Oh, so good.
And if you don't know who Carlos Rivera is, because Mexicans know who he is, he's an international superstar. He's almost like a Celine Dion, I guess. But even
he won
Dion.
like the Mexican American Idol. I guess it's Mexican Idol.
Mexi Idol. And so there are advantages, obviously, being in Centro, and obviously people probably want that. There's more of the clubs and the party, and there's the fancy.
Yeah, like if you're like partying and eating big steaks and smoking hookahs and getting tattoos and doing free shots of tequila, then that might be your jam.
Yeah, and it's really fun to go down there and check it out. But we really like being north here where we are, and it's definitely more of a local area. This obviously is fairly touristy, this area.
Yeah.
But you'll see as we get closer to Punta Esmeralda, there'll be more and more locals. And the neighborhoods inland from here, which we'll show you actually. We're probably going to shoot after this.
Yeah.
We're going to walk inland, and we'll show you the difference between the beaches and here.
So here's where it looks like the entrance is, probably onto 5th. You can see it's a blue flag beach, which they have in Mexico, which means that it has a few more rules than other beaches. Like usually, what does it mean? They have to be a certain cleanliness level. I don't think you're allowed to bring pets on them. Glass bottles, they definitely don't want glass bottles.
Yeah, and they monitor the water quality, and apparently that's a real asset of this area, is some of the best water quality at the beaches.
Yeah.
Which we love. And then this is part of our train trip around the Yucatan Peninsula. So you can also just take a train here.
Yes, the Maya train. We are going to be taking the Maya train all the way around the Yucatan Peninsula.
And the Maya train is controversial. We should always say that.
Yes,
there are mixed feelings about it for sure.
Yes, there are.
Especially amongst the Mayan people themselves about the appropriation of culture and things.
Yeah.
But at the same time, for people like us, it's a great environmental way to do it. And for us middle-agers, like we said before, it's an easy way to travel. So
yes,
you can get here and not expend a lot of fossil fuels, and then all of a sudden you're here at this beautiful beach.
Beautiful beach, yeah. I hope the water and the color of the water is coming through.
And this is that color that people are wanting. It can be, as you can see in the foreground, or those who are listening, it's a little brown. But
I think that's like seagrass and sand.
Well, it is. It's decomposing seaweed right in front of us.
Yeah, because
but right behind that you can see.
People talk a lot about sargassum, but this is actually more like a seaweed or a seagrass that we're seeing on the beach here.
At this time of year.
Yes.
But then, as we go to the waters, you can get it that clear. But as you can see, there's that teal, that turquoise, that azure out there.
Yeah.
That's what you're looking for.
Yeah. And as always, the clouds are the stars of the show in the Yucatan. With such a flat sky, you get such beautiful clouds. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, and you can see which weather systems are coming and everything.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is WaTalking. This is our second episode, and we normally do longer walking videos for those who know, where we don't talk.
Yeah.
But we've kind of decided, we've heard rumors had it that people think we're entertaining and they want to hear our voices and they miss us. So we're giving you that, but we're also not going to show our faces because we also like doing things differently. And we've been, especially Liesl, we've been local celebrities. I'm Jeff, by the way, she's Liesl. So we don't feel the need to go like in front of the camera. So there is a chance though with membership, if we do that, then we might do some of those. But that's gonna be, you're gonna have to pay for that if you really want to see our faces.
Yeah.
That's where we're at right now in our lives.
Yeah, that is where we're at. Yeah. So I guess one of the things that we've been talking about while we were making our way out to this location is that we've been taking a bunch of business courses and courses and things.
Well, yeah, business courses for sure. Through, may as well say, through community features, through WeBC, shout out.
Yeah, which have been great. Oh, how am I trying to say this?
What?
But, well, it's just that we haven't been coming out of them feeling like super inspired.
Well, some of them we have.
So, yeah, I guess a few kind of, but I guess the overall thing is that, you know, with what we're doing and what we want to do and who we are as individuals.
Well, they've been talking about target audience and things, and the thing that we've been kind of, it's the sheeple aspect of things. Everybody's being taught to conform basically and do all the same things.
If you can't beat them, join them. And we're like, does that count for everything? Like fascism? If I can't beat them, join them? Like, really? Is that what we're doing? And I feel like, let's let these guys go here.
Oh, yeah.
I feel like, and the plane. I could try and get that plane, but I'm not. I'll get the windsurfer. Yeah, it's fine. Really? The plane? You don't think so?
Yeah, I mean, just a little bit.
Kite surfer, I guess it's not a windsurfer, it's
a lot of stimuli for Liesl. That's another middle-aged thing. Like when you get people, there's planes, it's like, oh my god!
Oh my god, there's a lot going on.
This beach is so busy.
And I'm shitting and I'm trying to talk.
It's so crazy.
All at the same time.
There's so much happening.
I got this.
I'm walking, I'm talking, I'm WaTalking.
I'm trying to think about like things
what
to
I'm saying.
say.
Well, we should say it's not specific to WeBC or Community Futures.
No, it's not.
They're doing what their mandate is
Yes.
to promote business, and these days everybody's AI.
Yes.
And we'd like it if they talked about Kenya and the development of AI that way. And if you don't know about that, do some research.
Yeah.
As you like.
Yeah.
So it's not specific to these organizations, but we come out feeling like we're circles getting hammered into a square.
Ooh, I like that. Yes, we are circles, and they're trying to hammer us into a square.
And we're just taught you have to use AI to do this, and you have to do this way, and you have to do it this way, and there's really not that individualism. And part of what I think Liesl was getting to was the target audience thing. And we realized when we talk about a target audience and like who we are and who we're actually talking to.
Who you are actually listening to this, who've made it this far already who've clicked on the video, who've been like, yes, who then have listened to my opening rambling and been like, yeah, no, I'm still gonna listen further. Thank you. But you know, like, I don't even know what I'm trying to say. You know what I'm trying to say about it? Is that we, being Gen Xers, come from a time...
Early 50s.
Not that we were born in the early 50s, that we're in our early 50s, where being anti-establishment was cool. Being anti the man was cool. Like
not selling out.
Yeah, not selling out. I was very grunge when it was grunge, you know, and that got in there in those really formative years of my life.
We're a product of our environment.
Yeah, exactly. And
it was a very short time. I mean, people have done studies on this, but the grunge era was over fast.
Well, because they wanted it over fast, because they were like, oh my God, we can't have this whole generation of people not being establishment. And
you're doing stuff that is against corporations,
right?
And you're saying that...
Oh my gosh. You don't want to be a sellout?
And by the time the 90s were done, that had pretty well been shut down.
Yeah.
Which is right around the time Liesl and I met. So we kind of then went into more normal house, child, marriage, that whole thing.
Yes.
But we still made individual choices, still decided to be artists, still decided to do theater.
For sure.
Which is, anti-corporate in a lot of ways. If you're doing small town theater, you're not trying to be that way. So we've come from that background.
And, like I always say, there's words for people today, and it's wannabes and sellouts. Tryhards.
Those used to be bad things.
Those used to be bad, exactly. Whereas now, it seems like that's what we take these courses, and they're like, oh no, you need to be a sellout, you need to be a wannabe, and you need to be a tryhard. And it just goes against all those punk grunge fibers of my being.
And me too.
Yeah.
And that's where we've always gotten along. And so that's partly why we ended up here on this beach doing this, is because on one hand, some people might be like, oh, walking videos on YouTube, that's pretty generic, really. But for us, it's coming from a totally different place of doing something different in society. And we have a hummingbird moment where we learned about sipping the sweet nectar.
Sipping the
life.
sweet nectar, yeah.
And that's very much what we're doing. And for us, this is, a path less traveled, because at our age, we don't know a lot of people who are in their 50s. We're already the opposite of empty nesters. We're the leave the nesters.
Yeah, we're the leave that we left the sun at home and we left, which is not at all what most people
we don't
are
know
doing.
People. Yeah, he's in our house.
We don't know anybody.
Cold mountain Canada. Yeah, and so that's part of it. Is if you're listening to this, do you know people, or are you yourself like that, where you don't know anybody who's actually in your demographic, or not even your demographic, just in your life situation, who you are. So then when we talked about target audience, we started realizing that. We're like, wait a second, is our target audience and our character, you're supposed to invent a character who is your person.
Well, and we're supposed to be the extreme version of that, right? So we understand that, our target audience might not make as different of choices that we make, but maybe are along those lines. They were like, you have to be on Facebook. And it was like, well, maybe our target audience are the people who are like, no, I don't want to be.
Yeah. F Facebook.
Yeah.
I think we're allowed to say the word F, right?
We can say
just a letter.
Yeah, the word F. We can say the word
again,
F.
If you're wondering why, Facebook is pretty well a certain demographic now. The kids don't think it's cool. And
we don't think it's cool.
If you go to the origin, almost like the Kenya thing with AI, if you go to the origins of Facebook, it's an awful beginning. And again, you should research that or watch The Social Network or something.
Yeah.
And so this thing has been built on a very shaky, ill-fitting foundation.
Yeah, and then even with all of it, and I know being on YouTube, it's a certain amount of sellout. We understand that. But it's almost like making those choices of, do I want to work for a corporate boss or do that kind of thing, or am I willing to sell out a little bit so that we can be walking along this beach and having our lifestyle?
Well, and again, on that note, I think we mentioned before, but we were YouTube trailblazers. We were on YouTube in the early 2000s before Google got it.
Yeah.
Ate it up like all the other
not doing this, but we were on it doing other things.
Yeah, and one of our videos, Liesel's video, she did a music video called Winter by Aspen Switzer, and it was the featured video of the day.
Yeah.
Boom, 20,000 views, and at a time when that was massive.
Yeah.
And we always kind of feel that way. It's like, well, we got here before Google. So there is an element for those who are maybe saying, oh, you guys are sellouts too.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't know, we actually got a pretty good case where we were ahead of the game on that, and nobody was really doing it back then that we knew of. Right? Like you were in there, and Liesel did a magazine show. I don't think anybody else.
Yeah, but now they're gonna look that up, and then you can see what I look like. That's okay.
What's wrong with that?
I don't know, if you take that extra step to do that, wow.
Power to you.
Then wow.
Yeah, and we can't hide from these things.
Wow.
But again, that was a successful thing, and you ended up on a podcast in Pittsburgh.
I did. They tried to get me out of New York to be an influencer.
Yeah,
before
Kiss
I
My
knew
Face
that.
sent you stuff.
Before I knew what that was.
Yeah.
Before that was even a thing. And
you were confused.
I was
why
confused.
are they sending this stuff?
Yeah, and I was like, I'm way too out
And that was
there for
actually
any
a
of
great
this
place
stuff.
because that was the feedback. Well, they liked what you did. The corporate execs and the men.
Yes. Yeah.
Wanted you to be more normal.
Yes,
wanted
they
you to
did.
be more just not so yourself.
That's right.
And that's what I think. What Lisa was going back to our reactions to the workshops. Again, no slights.
No slights.
Doing a great job.
Totally. Yeah.
It's that concept of we just don't really feel like we want to do that and be those kind of people, just like back in the day.
Well, we like our thumbnails. I like our non-AF thumbnails. We have a whole thing of we want them to look like postcards, right? And
Well, and what the Cylons told me, that's what we call AI, by the way. Cylons,
Yeah.
Battlestar Galactica.
Battlestar Galactica, yeah, totally.
Well, most Gen Xers are like, that's an awesome show. That's
Yeah,
a good show.
Battlestar.
Because if you know.
It's one of those sayings where you're like, most of you have not watched Battlestar Galactica, and it shows. But,
And the Cylons told me that, it was a bad thing that our thumbnails look like postcards.
Right.
And I was like, well, that's exactly what I'm aiming for.
Yeah,
Thank you,
that's what we
Cylons.
want.
And so there's that idea is like, well, watch out, we got the dog on the way. So.
Dog's called.
Again, dog owners, there are good dog
Dog
owners out there,
guys,
of
eh?
course. And I've said it before, dogs love getting in Lisa's business.
They do. Dogs and babies.
And then there's this whole thing with dogs, by the way, while we're talking about it, where dog owners like call to their dogs and like pretend that their dogs are going to listen to them. Not all dog owners, of course, they're good dog owners. I can say that 10 million times probably over the course of the talking, but or even on the rom-commies, we have that happen.
Yeah.
But that's a good thing right there. Dogs are taking over the world. How many dogs are too many dogs?
Yeah, it's a good.
And Liesl and I are like, maybe dogs need to be more under control. Maybe they don't need to be running over them.
Maybe a family doesn't need to have 5 dogs. I don't know.
Maybe, and again, that's controversial.
It is controversial.
We might have just lost viewers for
We
saying
did.
that.
We did. We lost all
lost
the dog
10,
lovers.
at
They just turned it off. They were like,
we
I
like
hate
good
these
dog
people
owners.
now.
We like good dog owners.
Oh my god, but it feels like that with everything, right?
Right.
Like it's just like.
And so again, luckily we have each other, first of all.
Yes.
And we do have people in our lives who
Yes.
respect us and support us for who
Yes.
we are, and we appreciate that.
Because man, it's hard to have morals and keep your morals up these days when everything is like, no, don't. Get ahead, get yours, F the morals, do what you gotta do. That just doesn't always feel good. And yet at the same time, this feels good, and I love sharing our walkumentaries with you, and I really love doing
we
this,
wanna
and I
keep
want to
this long.
keep being able to do it. But it seems like so many things are telling us, well, if you want to keep this going, then you got to sell out. You got to be a wannabe.
We got to have
you got to be a
AI
tryhard.
thumbnails. We have to use AI titles, apparently.
Right?
Apparently there are competitors out there who hire people to just put a $200 GoPro on, and then they just walk around the town, and then the channel pretends that's their video.
Yeah, because that's the thing. We look at other channels and other walking channels of what they're doing, obviously. And so much of it now, it's like, well, it's all AI. There's so much AI, and we don't want AI. It's almost like, I feel like I want to combat the AI with humanity.
Let's let these people go by, because they just want to get up to your business.
Yeah, they do. She's taking a photo. She's
So
like,
if we could do a 360.
sure, we can do a 360.
Let's do it.
Ooh, show the sparkle game back there. But yeah, I want to combat AI with humanity.
And then it's funny, because even if you go against AI and you're like, hey man, AI isn't the best, and maybe it isn't the end all be all, then you end up in a situation where people are like, well, if you watch videos and record videos like we are, then you use the water, da-da-da. And they just ignore the Kenya aspect of things. And it's
Right.
like, well, yes, it's maybe not the best for the environment, but it's actually okay. So by the way, that's what's great about this beach area. There's nature here, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you're listening only, there's beautiful, 200 feet, and it's probably a bit of mangrove.
We call it Playa
sulfury.
Ochento because it's between Playa
Ochenta,
between Playa 72 and Playa 88.
And that's not an official title,
No.
but again, this is a great example. Everybody goes to Playa 8 ahead of us.
Yeah.
Most people go to Playa 72 or
That's
that
right.
Playa Coco behind us.
Yes.
And then we come to this area, we found it the first time we came here. And like Liesl said, we call it Playa Ochenta because all of a sudden nobody comes to this area and you end up getting it all yourself.
So then it's really hard
Water's
though
clear
to
as
be
everything.
doing something that you want numbers.
Yeah.
You want sharing. You want to invite people in. You know, like they're always relatable, right? They're always going on about being relatable. And it's like, but what if I'm not relatable?
And we personally
have to
don't
change
relate to
myself?
a lot of other people. Like,
I
the choices they
know.
make don't make sense to us.
Oh gosh, it's so difficult. We are being so vulnerable with this right now.
We're being
Like,
controversial.
oh my god, I know.
But I like being controversial. It's great.
Oh, it almost
But
makes
this
me
is
want
the
to
truth,
cry.
and again,
I might have to have a cry to reset my nervous system like a little bit later.
She has Irish blood, look it up. And her dad always pumped water and
A lot of
actually had
pumping
friends
water.
pumping water. So
Yeah.
she just naturally.
And apparently it just shows
You're a Gen X half Irish person. Can't help it.
yeah, neurospicy Gen X half Irish person.
Yeah. Which I love.
Yeah.
and
Thank you.
that's
I
what I'm
love
here
you
for.
too. Thank
Yeah.
you. Oh my gosh.
So again, that's if you look at this area, why wouldn't you come here?
Yeah.
Because there's nobody here.
Yeah.
Here. The water's clearer here than it is anywhere else. You can tell.
Yeah. Look at all the beautiful nature nature. So
We're
you've got
walking
nature as a
towards-
backdrop.
Yeah, we're walking towards Beach Cenote. Again,
Yeah.
Beach Cenote.
Beach Cenote.
People talk about these other cenotes.
Oh.
We've been to Glom. We've been to
Oh my
the one in
gosh.
Valladolid, Sassy, beautiful place.
Yeah. Look at these clouds.
But a beach cenote.
I don't know if you can see it, but we can see Cozumel in the distance.
The island of Cozumel.
It just looks like these sort of floating buildings, and also the cruise ships that are out there.
A lot of cruise ships.
A lot of cruise ships out there.
And that's a great example for us of middle-aged travelers. On one hand, we should totally go to Cozumel.
Yeah.
We're here for a while still at Playa del Carmen.
Yeah, we haven't fully decided, but I know.
I think we pretty well decided.
Have we decided? Oh,
Well,
man.
because it's one of those things where Liesel's mentioned before, she has motion sickness.
Yeah.
And it just becomes a thing. And and I'm sure there's a lot of middle-aged people that way who have motion sickness and aren't exactly, can just travel anywhere. And so in terms of our target audience, that's part of it, is that we love you boomers, respect. However, we're just not in your demographic, and we often share different values than the boomers.
But at the same time, I also feel like there's nothing wrong with younger people watching our videos. You don't have to be middle-aged. There's so much dopamine hitting stuff on the internet these days, and I like to think that our walkumentaries give you a chance to let your dopamine chill out a little bit.
Yeah, so
and also a chance
folks.
for you to employ your critical thinking about things.
And that's why we want you to watch our videos as well. And they say you can have multiple target audiences, so that they could also be it's that young person who wants to check out from society, right, and have a relaxing, slow travel, nature sounds,
also is
wave
just
sounds,
curious beyond, Fifth Avenue and Playa del Carmen.
And trying to be authentic.
A lot of
life.
people, a lot of walking videos, that's what they're going to show you. It's just, and then also they're going to bounce around a lot more, whereas we're very immersive. So that also kind of sets us apart, is that we go to a place for longer than a day or two, and we shoot a lot of it, and what we find interesting, and areas that we find interesting, and especially if we see that, we like that contrast between going urban and nature. That's always really
And we don't see a
interesting.
lot of tourists in those areas often, so that's another thing too. We're often staying or walking in areas where there aren't a lot of tourists.
Yeah.
Here, as you can see, we're getting more local as we move on.
And then also development, right? It's always really interesting. Like our last year, was it maybe Playa del Carmen along Fifth Avenue, there was the Wax Museum, which was creepy and weird, for sure. But it's not there anymore.
Unless you love waxing.
Unless you love that,
Power to you.
which maybe you do. But it's not there anymore. And so then now there's like a bit of an artifact, where it's like, well, that's what it was and that's what it looked like, and it's gone, it's changed.
So what we find traveling is that most of the time it is boomers, and that's not a controversial statement, that's just a true story. And either that or it's young families who are bringing their kids, and because they've got 2 weeks off from work, 2-3 weeks, and they're either staying at the all-inclusive or they want something pretty stress-free.
Yeah.
So they're going to stay at the nicer condo, maybe downtown and things. With hot
We
water.
very rarely. Well, I don't know.
Ourselves. Well, I don't think we ever have.
No, I don't think we ever have.
And we've been doing this for 4 years now.
Yeah.
Come down to Mexico for the winters. Again, we recognize our privilege. We are very privileged.
Yes, we are very privileged.
Appreciate
we
that.
super
But
appreciate it.
We're also living on modest means.
Yes, we are.
So, that's a good middle-aged thing, is when people are talking on phones. We're talking on phone, but when people are going along talking to themselves and talking on the phone, there's part of me that's still like, what's happening? What are they doing?
Oh, right. What's going on? Yeah.
So, what do you do when you live in a world where you don't see yourself and you want to be in doing a place? And again, I don't think we've ever met somebody who's 50-something.
We haven't.
So to pick ourselves as our target audience is pretty funny.
So I think part of what happened in our life, and we'll get a little bit backstory and personal for you here, is that we met young.
Yeah.
And a lot of
Thank
people,
goodness.
a lot of people say things to me like, oh, we're so lucky, which we are. But also, Like, we got married, I was 23, which was not,
in the 90s wasn't happening.
Yeah, and I mean, I was all grunge. I wasn't planning on getting married.
No, it wasn't top of my mind.
Oh my God, the idea of having a husband, what? That was like,
let alone
what?
a house or a child.
Oh my gosh, any of that. And I wasn't the type of person who ever dreamed of that or thought that that was gonna happen for me or anything like that. And so when I met you, and whatever you want to call it, I had this voice within the first 10 days of knowing you say in my head, this is your husband. I was just like, oh, okay. And as opposed to running from that and being like, I'm too young, I can't, I have all these, I don't know, whatever, I leaned into it and I went, okay. And then we went traveling to Central America where I was going to propose to you. I talked to all my friends about it. They were like, you're crazy. You've only known him a few months. And I was like, yeah, I know, but I'm pretty sure, like, he's my husband. That's what's going on. And then you proposed first, so that was a different story. That's actually not, what is it, NSFW or whatever that is. So we'll just say that.
There was jungle, there was geodesic dome.
Yeah, there was things involved.
Might have involved some nudity.
Might have. And then we kind of fast-tracked from there, right? Because then I was on birth control, but it was making me feel terrible. And so we decided to try different methods of birth control, which did not obviously work for very long, and that we have a lovely, beautiful, who we love so much, 25-year-old
method
son.
Is very reliable.
The lunar, I was going to say. Yeah.
We're passing Playa 72.
Don't rely on the lunar method. Yes, this is Playa 72. Okay, I'll show the pathway. So things just sort of happen fast for us, and so now
you have showers here, washrooms.
We're in a situation where, you know, our child is grown, whereas many people our age still have young kids.
Yeah.
Like even in elementary school.
Pretty well everyone we know.
So yeah, here's Playa 72. Anyway, so that on top of the fact that we were already different kind of individuals making unique choices in the world, just compounds it all, I guess.
Yeah. So if you made it this far, I think we should almost do this thing of WaTalking when we hit like, what is it, 25-minute mark, 30-minute mark?
We are at 26.
There you go. Exactly. Oh, I got a good sense of time.
Yeah, you do.
Actually, you get that after doing these 25, 30-minute walks for a long time. You get it. It's like, oh, it's about double time.
Yeah, I have no idea.
When we hit this mark, maybe we'll drop little things. If you made it this far, I think we mentioned a little bit, but we're going to be putting out a digital booklet, and we were just talking about you know, our plans for it and what we're going to do and the time of it. So it's probably going to be reality, because you know, when you're in paradise, it's not the easiest to buckle down always. That's part of what we do with
writing,
this.
yeah.
Yeah, because we're working right now technically while we're walking on the beach. So
yes.
We're going to go for a swim before we shoot part 2 kind of thing.
Yeah,
so,
exactly.
You know, that's part of it. But
yeah.
The digital book is going to be basically a middle-aged adventure walks travel guide, and just giving tips and ideas and recommendations. Essentially, this is good to just talk it through like this.
I guess focused a bit on Mexico as well, because that's
for now, yeah.
For now,
which, you know, that's where a lot of Canadians come, especially with what's going on with Merca at the moment.
Yeah.
And when we think about that, we're like, well, who are we writing this for? And yet again, it's like, oh man, we're probably writing it for kind of like ourselves. And then there's not a lot of us. So that's also an interesting thing when we think you're not, you know, with YouTube, you're supposed to have other revenue streams, just like when we grew up, when our child was growing up in a small town, you always had to have more than one revenue stream, right? You had two or three things going. Back in the day before the internet, heaven forbid.
Yeah.
Whereas now, again, that's where you have to have a digital book, you have to have a digital product. You have to have something you can sell above and beyond.
Right.
So.
Or your affiliate links, which I don't want to be connected to Amazon.
Yeah.
You know,
like we could tell you what our equipment is we're using, and we could get a commission on that. But it's like, do blankety blank corporation need more money from us, and we need to make more off of them? And in a way, with our pirate-ish Gen X thing, we kind of like that we're getting a modest amount of money right now from Google, because we're taking the money from them.
Yeah.
So, you know, even though they're conglomerate, we're trillions and gazillions.
Yeah, not doing great things, not making great choices. Oh my God. But see, now I'm like, if we say these things, then the Cylons are going to hear us, and then they're not going to push our video, because they're going to be like, oh, but they said anti-corporate things, so
and now
don't
Google's
going to
turn against us.
I know, exactly.
So that's a challenge, Google. What are you going to do? We called you out, Google. What are you going to do? We were here before you, Google. Because, well, I mean, but, you know, if we're being political at all, Google is donating to the ballroom that What's-His-Head is building. So,
not to mention the whole deal they made with Nosferatu. Like, it's just, yeah.
Right. So if you feel the way you feel about certain things, that's not the most controversial statement. And I think it's fully okay. So again, if our smart TV in our apartment is listening to us when we say these things, and then it then transfers the information to this and that, punishes us on our YouTube views, so be it. We'd still rather sip that sweet nectar, right?
Sip that sweet nectar.
So if we have our thumbnails that are postcards, that are not AI, if we have our titles that are not AI, if we actually write our own descriptions with human language,
our own descriptions,
that is our language.
Wild.
Because one of the workshop people was saying that they can tell now when they read AI that like 95% of the time they can identify it.
Yeah.
And yeah, again, it was a good workshop. She's a good workshop leader.
It was great. It was actually great because there was definitely channels that we were like, hey, check out this channel. This is what they have going on. And right away she was like, yeah, it's all AI. Which I didn't pick up on right away. And now that she pointed it out, I'm like, oh, yeah, okay.
And yet still her thing was you should probably do AI.
Yes.
And then we even heard actually the one we did afterwards, which again, it was a great workshop. But she said if you can't beat them, join them.
Yeah.
And we really thought about that, and we're like, well, okay, well, if the world is becoming more fascistic, does that mean we have to become more fascistic?
Right.
Because if we don't meet them, join them?
Right.
If the world is embracing Cylons, like in Battlestar Galactica, actually making love to Cylons.
Right.
It's like, well, do we have to? Like,
well, and I think a lot of people
just because the Cylons are winning.
A lot of people would be like, well, you're going to get left behind. And then we talk about, you know, getting left behind and leaving everything and finding some place and just going off grid and disappearing from it all.
So be it. The other precursor to Battlestar Galactica is the Terminator. So anybody who knows Skynet, it's like, well, if Skynet is winning, does that mean we don't beat John Connor and we don't fight back against Skynet? We just let them take over?
With humanity, right?
Yeah, on the side of the humans. So again, we understand where these business people are talking from. Because again, their mandate is to promote people to get ahead in the business world.
Yeah.
And as everybody seems to be agreeing right now, that's the way to get ahead. And we've seen these massive leaps. And even in movies we're watching, characters are like, well, AI's taking over and there's not going to be any jobs.
Right.
I was in Man on the Inside, by the way, do Ted Danson show, which was highly entertaining. But if you watch video streaming, then you're hurting the environment.
Right.
So on one hand, being artists, we want to watch good entertainment.
Yeah.
Because Ted Danson gets to be with Mary Steenburgen and his wife working together kind of like you and I are right now.
Yeah.
And yet, if we actually, you know, try to be moralistically pure and environmentally pure, we can't even watch Man on the Inside.
No, we can't be doing any of this that we're doing.
Yeah. So it's that trade-off of, well, I get it's got to be a midway point or like a quarter point between if you can't beat them, join them. You know?
I think
if you can't beat them, then kind of maybe do a little bit of what they do.
It's the give and take philosophy that we talk about a lot. That we had great discussions in Progresso with shout out to Alan and Progresso. Just gets shout outs all the time. I know, right? But that give and take, right? And he was talking about it in terms of places that you're staying and stuff like that. You know, because sometimes it's loud and sometimes you have a bad pillow, but
sometimes somebody's smoking right outside your window.
All the time.
Chain smoking.
But then maybe the apartment's really clean and the hosts are really nice and it has a pool.
Well, and that's an interesting thing. I don't think Alan would mind me saying this, but like he spent most of his career in the stereo, in the hi-fi industry, and that industry is basically gone at the level he was at.
Right.
So, by the way, just let's do another 360 if we may. This is really interesting too because a lot of people come to this area.
Well, I think it's because there's a big resort right behind us.
And we talk about furniture. It seems like a lot of people when they're on the beach, they need furniture, whether it's umbrellas and loungers.
Furniture.
And we're funny because we bring nothing.
We have sarongs.
That's not furniture.
No.
And exactly, we would rather sit right on the sand.
Yeah.
But of all the places, we just showed you the water up by Playa del Carmen where we go. The water here is incredibly brown, and I'm not sure exactly what's going on. Maybe it's the decomposing seaweed again.
Yeah.
But it doesn't look pleasant. And of all the places on this beach that we just walked, this is the one that's cordoned off for the swim zone.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't swim here. You know, I'm not being. I don't think it's pollution necessarily. Like I don't think, like we were saying earlier.
Well, it's just that there's. If you just walk a little bit further, there's much nicer water.
Yeah, or back where we were.
Yeah.
And so we're getting close to Punta Esmeralda here. The beach cenote is up ahead.
Yes.
But see that beautiful point there has been discovered just recently. provides great wind cover.
Yeah, it really does.
Which we really like.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that's some deep talking we did today.
Well, you know, it's on our minds, and that's kind of what we're going to be doing with the WaTalking, is just bringing up, especially stuff that relates to the YouTubes and the Googles and all these things, the AIs. I mean, and if you aren't talking about AI right now, I mean, you're like, like we're saying, like if people are talking about whole industries being wiped out, it's just right away you're like, well, what happens then? Like, what are governments decide to do? And the traditional routes aren't necessarily going to apply.
Well, no, and that's where I just think everything needs a system overhaul. Because nothing has grown the way it's needed to with population and with technology and with what's going on, and change it up.
Yeah, and talking to our young target audience, that's something we've noticed in them. A lot of them, like we were saying, want that authentic experience, want to like plug out to unplug to a certain degree.
Yeah, and exactly, don't necessarily only want to be shown Fifth Avenue, they want to see other places and be immersed in somewhere.
And a lot of them are, I would maybe bleak about the future, or realistic, some would say, or practical about the future. But
with all the hypocrisy going on, it's sometimes hard to have hope.
Yeah, and you can empathize with them.
Absolutely.
You know? In the 90s, we were dealing with the eco crisis as it was, and it was what do they call it, eco grief, I think it is, and it was first rising as a concept.
Right.
But you know, we've then gotten to this far, and I think if you had told us when we met in that we'd get engaged in the geodesic dome, if somebody had said we'd be walking along the beach 2025, still nice ocean, still nice water.
Yeah.
So on one hand, we can be like, oh my God, there's no hope. Skynet, Cylons, AI, it's all taking over.
But everything just carries on, and if there's one thing we learned from the Mayan culture, right?
What?
Things also end.
Yeah. Yeah, and yet they're still here.
Right.
And, you know, they still exist as a culture, and they're still doing their thing, and even though they're, you know, persecuted and prosecuted, and it's probably harder for them than it is for other cultures in Mexico.
Yeah.
Here they are doing their thing.
Yeah.
Which is something we do love about this area, Yucatan. There's a lot of people say the Yucatan Peninsula, which is the 4 states, Quintana Roo, Tabasco, Chiapas, and Yucatan itself, and Campeche, is it's part of the Mayan Trail, the Mayan Riviera.
Right.
And when we did our trip in '97, that was a big part of what we were doing, was the Ruta de las Mayas.
Yes.
And, you know, going to Costa Rica, but especially once you get Honduras all the way to here, forget about borders. You know, back then that was all Mayan culture.
Yeah.
And it is really amazing, the Mayan culture, and the fact that it still does exist like it does.
It is.
So here's the cenote.
Well, you can see the water. So this little pool that the kids are playing in, that's all cenote water.
Fresh water.
Fresh water from the cenote. So we are approaching Punta Esmeralda, where we're going to do our 360 and leave it at that. Oh.
You don't want to go around the point there?
No.
Oh, you don't want to? Okay. That's
Well,
it. She's done.
Yeah, we're at 37.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, we're good. We don't need to keep you for any longer of time if you've made it this far.
And here's the travel tip: is when we first
well
arrived, the cenote was blocked up. There's a
it was
place
blocked up.
in the back corner there where.
I'm gonna go through these palapas, and I'm
spring
gonna get
comes
us
out.
right to the sort of the main part of the cenote.
But it was blocked, and they were actually digging it out.
Yeah, and the water was really dirty.
Yeah, and it's interesting because it's actually back to being a little more dirty now.
Well, in this, right there, for sure.
Because the other day, the whole thing was clear as anything.
Crystal clear.
So, if you're planning to come to Punta Esmeralda and the cenote, some days it might not be as clear as other days.
Which we didn't realize. We thought it was always just gonna be pretty pristine.
The first day we got here, it was actually pretty swampy, if anything.
Yeah, it was. Like, we didn't go in.
No.
No. I don't know what's up with these palapas. It's like you got to talk to the lifeguard or something. Like, I think they're free, but you also reserve them, or I don't even know.
Well, and again, this is an area we would not hang out at. What we do is when we come here to that island ahead of us here, that's where we put our stuff.
Yeah.
And then you just go in from there.
Yeah, because where the cenote freshwater is actually coming out is just on the other side of that. So, give you a little view here.
Yeah, it's got more of that green color though again.
Yeah, hey? It looks pretty nice right there though.
Yeah.
lots of families here because the kids, it's nice for them to swim and play. No, you're right, it does look dirtier there, doesn't it, again?
And as you can see, it's definitely more locals here.
Yeah. So just around the corner of the island is where there's like a little spring and the fresh water comes right out of the ground there. It's remarkable. It's very cool. Okay. Well, I'm going to 360 it. Thank you, everybody. Whoa. That was a lot. That was heavy. If you made it through that, I give you a big round of applause of appreciation.
There was light stuff. There was beauty.
I know. It just felt like really vulnerable, and I don't know if I was fully. I don't think all our WaTalkings are going to be so vulnerable that way. Part of it is just like going on a walk with us, and that, what we're chatting about. But that's what we're chatting about today, because we've been doing all these things, and that's what's present in our minds.
Well,
so.
you told the story about our meeting and everything, and our first trips and stuff.
I really did. I went there. I just really went there.
Which is good. Why not?
Yeah, why not?
That's who we are. But yeah, as we get going, I think definitely we'll just be more what we're seeing on the day.
Yeah, or even, what we watched at night or experiences. I don't even know.
That's the advantage of getting in now on these kind of things, is you get to see it when it's happening and what we're doing at the beginning.
Yeah. Well, we hope you have a fabulous rest of your day. Thank you so much for tuning in.
I feel like I have to tuck Liesl in bed for a nap or something. I think we tucked her out.
I know, right? Shake it out, like reset my nervous system, it'll be okay. All right. Yeah?
I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
You got the buttons, so.
Okay, I got the button.
I'm at your mercy.
Okay. Hasta luego. Que te vaya bien.
Adios.